Hello, relatives. This is Dr. H. Welcome to this week's Schlagbyte for the week July 30th, 2007, entitled Water from Faucets. My grandson and I got back from our outdoor explorations. We were hot and sweaty. He went to the refrigerator for a cold drink and then turned to me and asked, "Where's the bottled water?" I told him we didn't have bottled water and to fill a glass at the faucet. He looked at me incredulously and said, "You don't drink that water, do you?" I told him, "Yes, I do." And I drank some and offered him some, and he grabbed his throat as if it would poison him. 21% of all Americans now drink bottled water. That's more than purchase coffee, milk, and pretty soon even beer, according to the New York Times a couple of weeks ago. People are buying it not because the water's better, because it definitely isn't. It's more convenient. The National Resources Defense Council, the NRDC, has conducted extensive municipal water and bottled water tests and says not only is a city's tap water healthy, but that 25 to 30% of all bottled water comes from municipal tap water systems. Some of that water goes through additional filtering, but some does not. The NRDC says the bottled water is, quote, subject to less rigorous testing and purity standards than those which apply to city tap water. Hundreds of millions of gallons of bottled water are being sold not because it's healthier, but because it's convenient. Consumers are willing to pay an average of $1,400 a year because it's so easy to take it anywhere. But the far bigger price is that plastic bottles are made from oil. And oil is what's also used to provide the locomotion and refrigeration to ship the 43 million gallons a year that are imported from the European Union to New York's harbor. This 3,500-mile trip also creates 3,800 tons of carbon dioxide. Think about that. Another 1 million gallons comes from Fiji, which is a distance of 8,000 miles and creates another 19 tons of carbon dioxide. At the end of all this consumption, we are left with empty bottles that end up in landfills. We are taking from our shrinking Earth all of its non-replenishable resources, and we are replacing them with non-biodegradable garbage. Tell me there's not something wrong with this story. 60 years ago, if somebody came up and tried to sell you water, you'd think he was crazy. I told this to my grandson, who responded that 60 years ago they didn't even have television, and that it's simply the way it is now. We have got to be telling better stories to our kids. Convenience can't justify our piling on to the global waste heap. 60 years ago, everybody drank water from faucets. In another 60 years, there may no longer be faucets. That's what I'm thinking this week in the middle of Phoenix's hot summer. Sending warm regards. Let me know what you're thinking on the Healing Cafe discussion forum. Check out the website for workshops that may be near your area. And remember, we're all in together. Nobody makes it alone. Say this for all my relations. Me takwiyasi. Have a great week.